Welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is Alejandro, and in this channel we talk about investing, personal finance, and all things money. In today's video we're going to be talking about overdraft fees and 9 ways to avoid them. So before we get into the video, I gotta ask for them likes, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you won't miss no more videos like this. And without further ado, let's get into it. So what is an overdraft fee? Simply put, an overdraft fee is a charge by your bank when you do not have enough funds in your bank account to cover a payment that you just made. And as a part of that, when you opt into overdraft protection service, the bank covers the difference for you. Overdraft fees on average are about $35 per transaction. Frequent overdrafters usually pay about an extra $450 a year in just overdraft fees. Understanding how overdraft fees work can help you save money and better manage your finances. So in 2013, the Federal Reserve made it mandatory for certain financial institutions to ask for your consent before opting you into overdraft protection programs. Nowadays, when you apply for a checking account, your bank will usually ask you for you to opt in for these overdraft protection programs. So again, an overdraft fee only happens when you do not have enough cash in your bank account to make a transaction, whether it's a purchase or you're sending money. Whatever the case may be, that transaction is going to put your account below zero. Again, the bank is getting permission by you to let that transaction bring you below zero, and they're going to charge you a $35 fee. So you're going to owe the money for the difference plus the $35 overdraft fee. So real quick, let's look at an example. Let's say your bank account is at $20, and let's say that you buy something that is $25. If you are opted in overdraft protection, your account is going to go below zero down to -$5. Because you did this transaction, now the bank has the right to charge you $35 on top of you going below zero. So now your balance on your bank account should be -$40. Now with the account being down to -$40, now you need at least $40 to bring it back up to zero. Depending on your bank, you may not be charged an overdraft fee for payments or checks. Certain banks may return checks or transactions unpaid, resulting in a non-sufficient fund or NSF fee, which is very similar to an overdraft fee. If you are not properly managing your finances, overdraft fees can add up pretty quick. As a matter of fact, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau estimates that overdraft fee and NSF fees have added to a total of $17 billion annually in just fees that are being charged to consumers that don't know how to manage their finances. These fees are banks' single largest expense for consumers who have checking accounts. Overdraft fees are a super unnecessary expense. So learning how to avoid them can help you save money in the long run. So let's go over our 9 different ways to avoid overdraft fees. So starting off with number 1 is the most simplest one and probably the easiest one to do, is just to opt out of your overdraft protection program. Again, remember, when you're opted into an overdraft protection program, you're giving the bank permission to charge you an overdraft protection fee. So when you're opted out of the overdraft protection program, that means that your transactions won't usually go below zero. But again, the most simplest way is to opt out of the overdraft protection fee. If you try to buy something that's $10 and you only have $5 in your bank account, your bank will automatically decline that transaction because you're not opted into overdraft protection. The second way to protect yourself from overdraft protection fees is, well, think about it. It's 2020. There's an app for everything. Your bank probably has an app. And with your bank having an app, it's easy to just pick up your phone, go to your app, and see your account balance on your checking account and your savings account. That way you don't make any transactions that are going to put you past zero. The third way to avoid overdraft fees is to use a credit card. This method I only recommend for people that have credit card self-control. What is credit card self-control? Credit card self-control is when you are able to pay off your balance by the end of the month, which results in you not paying any interest on your credit card. And again, keep in mind, you're using a credit card. Your credit card has its own credit line and has nothing to do with your checking account, so your checking account will never go below zero. The fourth way for you to avoid overdraft fees is to set up the notifications on your mobile app. Sometimes you might be too busy to just look at your app when these transactions are going through in the background. At least your app can notify you, hey, your account is at $25. You might want to add more funds before you continue to use your card. Check with your bank, check with your app. You might be able to adjust these settings, but that's number 4. The fifth way to avoid overdraft fees is to ask your bank if they have any alternatives to their overdraft protection program. There's some banks out there that let you link your savings to your checkings, and when you make a transaction that will put you below zero, instead of letting it go below zero, it would stop it at zero and deduct the difference from your savings account. That way your account doesn't go below zero. They can't charge you an overdrawn fee. They can't charge you an insufficient fund fee. So that's another way to cover yourself. The sixth way to avoid overdraft fees is by simply adding money to your checking account. Sometimes, depending on the transaction, your transaction will be pending on your checking account, and that gives you enough time to go to the bank, deposit some money, and bring your balance back up above zero. You got to check with your bank. Some banks have certain cutoff times by when you can do this. Most bank institutions are like by 8 o'clock p.m. So if you can deposit that money by, let's say, 8 o'clock p.m., they won't charge you an overdraft fee because the transaction was still pending during that time period, which again helps you avoid overdraft fees. The seventh way to avoid overdraft fees is by simply calling your bank and speaking to a representative. Let's say, for example, you made a transaction, it put you below zero, they charge you an overdraft fee. Now you're like, damn, I got charged an extra $35. Now that's $35 down the drain. Just call up your bank. A lot of bank fees are usually refundable or negotiable. So you got nothing to lose just by calling up your bank and telling them, hey, this and this happened this day. I thought I had enough money. Is it okay to get my overdraft fee reversed? And they'll credit you back the $35 or whatever the fee is, helping you avoid overdraft fees. Keep in mind, banks want you as their customer. So if you call them with that concern, they'll do whatever they can to help you. Usually, they only help you out with your first overdraft fee. So if you got like 10 overdraft fees, don't expect 10 overdraft fees to be reversed, because that's poor managing of your finances. There's no reason you should have 10 fees, you know. So call a bank, see what happens. The eighth way that you can avoid overdraft fees is by getting a prepaid debit card. I'm sure you've seen prepaid debit cards out there before. You got cards like, let's say, the Green Dot card, and Walmart even has one called the Walmart Money Card. If you are having trouble keeping your account in the positive, these cards can help you. Prepaid debit cards are exactly like regular debit cards. You know, you can make transactions, withdraw money, and all that good stuff. They also come with the ability of not being able to get charged any overdraft fees. So these cards will never let your account go below zero. This is why I recommend getting one of these cards if you can't do it with a regular checking account. The ninth and final way that you can avoid overdraft fees is use cash, dude. If you use cash, there is no link to a bank. You can see your money, and therefore you can see it when it's gone. Poof, gone. You won't be able to spend any more over zero because it's not linked to a bank account. So if all else fails, use cash. Alright, so let's sum it up. I gave you guys 9 different ways that you can help yourself avoid overdraft fees. And they are: 1, opt out of the overdraft protection program. 2, download your bank's app. 3, set up notifications within your app. 4, use credit cards. 5, add money to your account when it does go below zero. 6, asking for alternative to overdraft protection programs with your bank. 7, calling your bank and asking for a refund. 8, using a prepaid debit card. And 9, use cash. So the bottom line here is overdraft fees are very costly, and it is a unnecessary expense that nobody should be making. So simply put, all of this can be avoided just by managing your finances, budgeting, and learning your overdraft protection policy with your bank. With that all being said, don't forget to leave me a like, drop a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time, let's get this money. Peace.